Hey, Star Wars fans, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into a corner of the Star Wars galaxy that, for many, holds a special place: Legends. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Michael Reeves and Maya Catherine Bonov's The Last Jedi, the fourth book in the Coruscant Nights series. We will be covering the first three books in this series coming soon, but this book, in my opinion, requires its own entry, following the importance of narrative depth covered recently with the in-depth examination of Darth Plagueis. This book, while not part of the current official canon, played a crucial role in fleshing out a vital period in the Star Wars saga, the immediate aftermath of Order 66 and the rise of the Empire. We'll explore what The Last Jedi brought to the table when it was canon, and perhaps more importantly, what the current Star Wars narrative is missing now that Jax Pavan's story resides in the realm of legends. To understand the significance of The Last Jedi, we need to appreciate the weight and darkness of the post-Order 66 era. The Jedi Order, the guardians of peace and justice for millennia, was systematically betrayed and slaughtered. This wasn't just a military victory for the Sith, it was a cultural and spiritual catastrophe for the galaxy. The films touch upon this, but the expanded universe, and The Last Jedi in particular, delved into the immediate consequences on a more personal level. It showed us the scattered remnants of the Jedi forced into hiding, grappling with their grief, their failure, and the crushing weight of the Empire's oppression. This period was crucial for understanding the desperation and the seeds of rebellion that would eventually blossom into the alliance we see in the original trilogy. Enter Jax Pavan. Unlike some of the more well-known Jedi survivors in Legends, like Ahsoka Tano or Obi-Wan Kenobi in his self-imposed exile, Jax offered a different perspective. He wasn't retreating into isolation. He was actively fighting back, albeit in the shadows, on the very heart of the Empire, Coruscant. The Last Jedi showcased the urban guerrilla warfare against the burgeoning Empire, the small acts of defiance, and the moral complexities of operating in such a hostile environment. Jax wasn't a grand strategist or a powerful warrior leading armies. He was a survivor, relying on his wits, his skills, and the help of unlikely allies, like the droid I-5 and the members of Whiplash. This grounded perspective offered a valuable counterpoint to the larger galactic conflicts and highlighted the pervasive nature of Imperial control. Following Jax's unique perspective, and as a prelude to exploring the dark side in Vader's reign, an excerpt from the book may provide some depth to the discussion.
Make sure to hit like and subscribe if these conversations are for you. While some titles are quite well known within Star Wars literature, there are quite a few more or less forgotten. Let's give them new life. What do you say? A passage from Chapter 1, The Last Jedi, by Michael Reeves and Maya Catherine Bonoff, Sakian Freighter Far Ranger requesting clearance for departure. I-5's mimicry of Tudensal's gruff voice was flawless. No one listening, or more to the point, no vocal analyzer scanning, would know that, in reality, the Sakian merchant was sitting in a safe house somewhere in the Twilight Warren near the Westport, plotting infamy against the Empire. No one, that was, except for the Far Ranger's crew and her lone passenger. Jax Pavan, his hands on the Far Ranger's steering yoke, realized he was holding his breath as he waited for the Westport flight dispatcher to approve their departure plan. He let his tension go with a soft rush of air and ignored the urge to reach out with the Force to give the dispatcher a nudge. It was tempting, but best not to take the chance. Even something as minor as that could alert Darth Vader to their movements. If Vader was, against all odds, still alive. Jax believed that he was. Even though he hadn't sensed the Dark Lord's uniquely powerful indentation in the fabric of the Force lately, it was difficult to conceive of such power, such concentrated evil, being gone, being over, being done. And until he gazed upon Vader's corpse with his own eyes, until he could reach out and touch him with the tendrils that constituted his own connection with the living Force and sense no reciprocation. Well, until that came to pass, Jax knew he couldn't be too careful. And speaking of erring on the side of caution, Was the silence on the comlink just a little too long? Had someone suspicious of the freighter's relatively new Sakyan registry connected the ship to Jax Pavan? Am I overthinking this? Far Ranger, your ascent plan is approved. Your departure window is... There was a pause, and Jax held his breath again. Five glanced at him and let two pearls of luminescence migrate, left to right, along the top outside rims of his photoreceptors, the droid's equivalent of rolling his eyes. 10 standard minutes on my mark. Aye, said I-5. Mark!
The book also provided a chilling look at the early days of Darth Vader's reign. The book perfectly captures the fear and dread Vader instilled in the remaining Jedi. In The Last Jedi, Vader is a powerful enforcer. He's a relentless hunter, actively seeking out and destroying any lingering sparks of the Jedi Order. The encounters with Vader in the Coruscant Nights series were particularly impactful because they emphasized his ruthlessness and the sheer terror he inspired. It was more than military might, it was about psychological warfare and extinguishing hope itself. The Last Jedi gave weight to the idea that surviving Order 66 was just the beginning of a terrifying ordeal, with Vader as the ultimate boogeyman for any Force-sensitive individual. Beyond the plot and characters, The Last Jedi contributed to the overall thematic richness of the Star Wars universe. It explored themes of loss, resilience, the nature of hope in the face of overwhelming oppression, and the sacrifices made by ordinary people to resist tyranny. Furthermore, the book enriched the world building of Coruscant under Imperial rule. It showed how the vibrant capital world was being choked by the Empire's iron fist, how fear permeated daily life, and how pockets of resistance formed in the shadows. This added depth to our understanding of the galaxy far, far away, beyond the grand space battles and Jedi temples. Now let's turn to the crucial question. What does the current Star Wars canon lack now that stories like The Last Jedi are relegated to legends? While the new canon has explored the post-Order 66 era to some extent, it hasn't quite filled the void left by Coruscant Nights series. We're missing that ground-level perspective of resistance on the Imperial homeworld. The current canon often focuses on larger rebel cells or established figures. The gritty street-level struggle depicted in The Last Jedi, where survival is a daily battle and trust is a rare commodity, offers a unique and compelling narrative that is currently absent. Additionally, the portrayal of Vader in the early Imperial era in Legends, particularly in his relentless pursuit of Jedi, felt more visceral and terrifying to some fans. While the new canon has shown Vader's power, it hasn't always captured that same sense of inescapable dread that permeated his appearances in books like The Last Jedi. Finally, the themes explored in The Last Jedi, the quiet heroism, the resilience of ordinary people, and the slow burn of resistance in the face of overwhelming power, are important facets of the Star Wars story that could be further explored in the current canon. Despite its legend status, The Last Jedi remains a beloved book for many Star Wars fans. It offered a unique window into a dark and crucial period of the galaxy's history, introduced compelling characters, and explored important themes. While the current canon is forging its own path, there's no denying the impact that books like The Last Jedi had on shaping our understanding of the Star Wars universe. They provided depth, context, and a sense of history that enriched the overall saga. So while Jax Pavan and his adventures in The Last Jedi might not be official canon anymore, their significance within the larger Star Wars narrative is undeniable. The book served as a powerful exploration of the post-Order 66 era, offering unique perspective and themes that the current canon could potentially learn from. What are your thoughts on The Last Jedi? Did you enjoy Pax Pavan's story? Do you think the current canon is missing something by not having stories like this? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, may the Force be with you.